years ago was that. No, you ask another mechanic, you go to a book maybe if you have it and so on, you know. So all the questions in the little examination thing, I hate using that word, the little test thing, it will be simply something like what I hope we'll get a chance to do in the afternoon. I expect we will. The rain's going to hold down anyway around then, when you might be able to persuade a couple of little boys to come along. Even your own children will be fine. I don't mind who. Good morning, good morning. And that you would go for say half an hour plus, that you, and that could go quickly, I assure you. You might be able to go through as many of the skills as you would like to go through yourself, because that's important too. In other words, that you'd have well, we go through them here now as well. And what I go through now will be exactly as what's on the examination thing. So not to worry, because even if you missed out last weekend, just as well after the shady guys around last weekend. So, no, the truth is that, as I say, again, if you're doing anything in coaching, and let's say you're going to do the pickups today now, I'm going to see that everybody does it right as much as I possibly could. What you want to do is read it out. And then go from the law or something secret and do it yourself, you know, and think of say 2 or 3 points, and in any of the questions that on the examination, you're only asked to mention 2 or 3 important points, you know. For instance, 2 important points about coaching points about the lift. Just take that now, say, about the lift. Now the first thing is you must bend down, and that seems obvious, but it's not. And you'll see now if you look at a honey mat tomorrow, some of them have lift and they'll be up here, and you can't do that. So you can bend down. I don't mind whether you lift it with 2 hands. If you're not going to bend down, you won't get the honey down. It makes sense, doesn't it? If you're up here, the honey is at that angle. It can't. You're sitting on the ground or you'll pass over the ball. But if you're down here, next thing is, and I love you, I was down with the kids yesterday evening and we're at this thing. Just a simple thing like that. There was that thing about the changing of the grip. You can't remember. How could you? Just the questions again. That was a question I was going to put on these. I thought, no, not this one. Right up to mention here. Look, the changing of the grip is if I'm right-handed and I want to lift, I want to back the ball. We didn't do that. No, okay, we didn't. We didn't do it small. I don't believe in it now. That was good for kids, but for seniors who, if I run you and you're batting, you'll be back down to that. Ooh, I flick the ball through. You know, not okay. I turn you around. And once you turn it back around, he's in trouble. But he must go back. You must turn again to clear, even if he takes it off perfectly. So don't let yourself be turned if you're back. That's what happened poor Johnny Crowley days, man, with that Jeff Henry in the first Cox sad defeats in 82 or something like that. You know, how Jeff Henry, and that's another thing we didn't do this week now, is pulling in the air, you know. And pulling in the air, the very same as pulling down here, except you should have the hurley ready, and it's only that. And Jeff Henry came out for the puck out, which was not a long one, if you could remember this. Even though he had the wind at his back, he didn't blow it into Kingdom Come. He just hit it sort of the straight round about there, and Fenley was out, and before he gave it a small touch, and went up into Fitzpatrick's house. And there, trouble awaited. You know. But I'm saying that that's the change of it. Look, it's that little roll forward, and the 2 sums come here, because that's the best way to control it. Now you could turn it this way, say that last week, but if you consider for a moment turning it this way, it's a little, and this is a consensus not of me, but of all of us who talked about it, we arrived at the conclusion, that's not quite as comfortable as this. I don't know if you agree or not, but anyway, if you don't want to and you needn't, that's the good thing about hurling, there's a choice. Except I've been glad to say to you, where kids are concerned, I wouldn't give them a choice to say, look, that's not the best bit, because if you give them a choice to figure out that end or something, you know, kids are notorious for being, what I say, assertive or whatever you like. They try to show big man. I have a young from my own, and I got a batch of hurley this evening, and I got 26-inch hurley. We're not talking about the hurley too. 26-inch hurley about that. And she's a lovely, and no hoops in them because they wouldn't break me today. 26, 28, 26, 28, and 30. 30 is about there, let's say, yeah, about there. But again, he would love to have a big hurley, but the other one too small, so a little bit. You've got to be very careful, you won't give him a big one. I found out down the field yesterday evening, and I had been a bit careless about it and gave a hurley. He told me that he knows to be all right. I found out yesterday evening. He was that bit slow on the pull almost every time. Secondly, he hit the ground into the ball, you know. It was different from the other hurley. He mentioned that last week. So again, come back to the hurley. If it wasn't small enough and light enough. And if you should mention the quality of good hurley, of course you'd say, wouldn't you? That should be light enough and soft enough. And you could also talk about the grain of the hurley. Now, of course, that's a little beyond the 7 and 8 year olds, you know, because they won't be breaking much. But because if the grain isn't reasonable, it has the good grain. If it hasn't a little spring, no, actually, not big spring, please don't bring it in. If it hasn't a little bit of spring, then it's not so good. By the way, that's supposed to be very bad for hurley. You break some of the 5 lines. So the gentleman tell me if you don't too much of that. If there's too much spring in the hurley, it will never really hit. That will be, every time it hit will be back a little bit this way, won't it? So a little, just a little give in it like that, you know. And of course this thing called balance. This is a difficult thing. You have it in your own hurley, it is yours. It means that you can handle it at a fair little bit of ease. I suppose a great test would be, and this is the idea now, and please don't misunderstand it, if you could use it with one hand a little like that. Because there are many little skills involving one-handed skills. Even that little tackle that, one-handed, well, Tommy Welch, he's penny longer, another Tom Welch, he was calling back, way back, and I used to be trying to think. And marvellous tackle again. I wouldn't teach the kids because it was a bit too hard. I saw what I'm doing this evening, but I forgot the other thing that we said last week, and that is when you're going in, and you're just a bit late, it's a little quarter swing, where you just flick the ball, flick it a bit like that, and he pulls. But you better go in or you'll be hit on the legs, you know. This chap did a beauty, and then bang on the leg, he said. No, it's, again in the tackle, I said that Saturday, and then down, look, stay out. But if you're going to go in, go right in beside him, because that's the safest place, right in beside him. So, even to start, and just a bit of revision that, because there'll be questions about that. And anyway you want it yourself, because I don't care what bunch of lads, whether they're your own or others, if there's any bunch of lads, the most important thing of all, without a doubt, when you start off is that the hurley should be gripped with the dominant hand. You see that word in the American paper, like this. But the dominant hand is your strong hand, it's a lovely fancy word. The stronger of the two. Don't tell me it doesn't matter, I'm equally good. Because you're not. There's one hand, surely, a little bit. But God knows I know people who wrote with the right hand and button the bread with the left hand. Now, don't tell me what I thought, that's please, I'm bad enough. But you see, that could happen, but still one hand generally is a little stronger than the other, sometimes very much stronger. So, with me anyway, I would call that the dominant hand because I do the writing. How do you know a person's dominant hand?
If you throw something to me, and then
if you throw it to me, you see, for instance, if you throw, I throw a ball to you, you see now, I throw a ball to you, are you ready? Right? Would you? Throw it to me. Because I had eye catching, you see? Do you know what I mean now? Yeah. I know it says that in notes, I didn't believe a word of it, you know that? I want to tell you about that. I think it does anyway. It does, yeah. Oh God, forgive them their sins. It's okay if I have nothing else in my hand. But if I'm hurling, and if I ask you, you never know where you see this again, what hand should you catch the ball with? In hurling now, speaking of hurling, you should catch it with your guiding hand, or Jesus another chance. With the other hand that's not your dominant hand. Not that. Well anyway, I'll do not hit me up, right? And you would catch the ball with the hand which is not your dominant hand. Your guiding hand, we call it in the coaching world, because that one supports or guides or helps the stronger. But you see, you could catch it in this hand, of course you could. But now again, you're back again now, aren't you? There was a goalie playing for Tip the other. Anyone know who he was? And he would catch it in this hand, and he took hours, minutes, days to hit it after that. I don't think that. That's a cruel thing to say. Anyone remember who he was? No, it's days ago. He was a John O'Donoghue. John O'Donoghue was very young. John used to catch it with this hand, and if you could from near him then, near enough to him, you Drummer didn't get there was a now and there was a Carey and there was a John Doyle. Oh God. I mean, like I said last week, they didn't stand on Zoom, but my God, they stood everything and everybody else said that. Oh yeah. But you see, again he was catching here, and it took that big long to clear without the lead caught with this hand. I don't know why. Again, there was nobody that could raise it with John. Where did you catch with this? There's a bit of a friend of mine, Jim Hogan of Limerick, a few years ago again. And I often think of this now, it's a good one I'm saying now. It was an occasion in Thurles, a league final, and Con Roach, I remember, was taking the sideline for him. He was damn good at that. And we'd go make a mess of it out here for a minute. But Con took one of his really good sideline cuts. Now Jim Hogan, he was catcher, and he was a very good goalie. I don't know what happened to him, but he changed over the catcher with this hand. And he was badly cut for a goal. Ball from this side, and he was standing here, which is the wrong thing. Because if you're a goalie, and the ball came into that side, you want to be over towards the far post. Would you imagine why? So that you wouldn't have to do what Jim did that day. So the sideline was taken, and he backed away. Now that was the obvious hand he used. But eventually he back this way, and oh gosh. Remember Chinos for Galway against Kilkenny in a semi-final of an All-Ireland one time again. The vital goal came at that, just had a backspin one, and a cut shot, you know what I mean? And it was spinning, and they all was spin, and then when they come in here, they come down straight. And he was backing again, and into the net, it went for the vital goal of 1 for Kilkenny. But anyway, no, I just remember that one again. That's the hand if you're left-handed, of course there'll be left-handed. How would you know a person down and go back to that again? I know, if I asked you to clap your hands, please, thank you. You want to go ahead. The did hand is moving more. You see the right hand, mostly, you know. That's one way. But the obvious way actually is, what hand do shuffle the complex areas into the corner out? You know? What hand do you shove them on? What hand do you store the tea with? See? Guess the little lesson. Isn't that? Yeah, but that's the hand. That's the one. That's, as I said in the kitchen school today, I saw it catching him along and I said, out immediately. He was and he was as awful as that hammer, you know. It's terrible to see what it's like. Again yesterday, it's amazing, isn't it? And it's a performance and I thought another was a change. I don't do kept at him gently, but you know, like yesterday, and God, he's had to score 2 goals and he was delighted on the ground. And again in that little match yesterday, you know, ourselves finishing up after a little bit of training. Everything that we had done in the little skill practice and everything we talk about was necessary in the match. It's terribly important. Be able to pull, sharp little pull, stop the ball. Just simple things like that, you know. How would you know the person down in hand, the hand he writes with? Would not be the hand he takes the spearman, that's spearman, you know? The hand he has that knife in for stabbing the butt on the spread and all over there. So, and you could say, I'd be very doubtful about that. I wouldn't have said that at all, because if you, like I told you, you know, naturally there's nothing else in your hand you catch with this hand, you know. I suppose you would. But it's very important to use the left. It really is, you know, very important to use the left. That's one other point, because I want to work two things. There was in choosing a hurry, you could, that's a fairly obvious, we did last week too. Be light enough, sharp enough, a good grain. I mean, and you'll know the good grain, it goes right down to the length of the hurry. It's so sad to be getting that good, but you'll be trying for it. It wouldn't matter for a tiny child of 6 or 7 or 8 anyway, it doesn't matter, because they would be catching it. You shouldn't let them either, because they're highly dangerous, they'll decapitate one another quickly, and there'll be high mortality rate among kids, sharply go up there. Now, my exercise, yes, ball, oh yes, another thing too, you know, one of the difficulties of hitting a ball, how high up is it, so, how high up is it, about?
Shoulder high.
Yeah, that's it. Or you said head high, I suppose. I think the note said 6 inches. Imagine if I were rolling measure. But you know, I think both head high. Again, and it's a lobbing thing up, out the hand, lob it up. Even if you're going to hold the hurry, those who can't hit now. You see, if you're down here, it takes them 5 or 6 minutes, you know, up to ring it up. So up here, you know, and just lob it up. Remember we were saying that last week. And that's the hard thing that hit at that one other point of intersection. Isn't it? That's the hard thing to do. You want to be patient and encouraging. And if you were watching opposite him, that might be best place, you'd say, just because the real trouble I think with kids trying to hit a ball but never hit it is that they're in such a hurry. Oh, you know, they want to hit it too soon, and really if they could get into the habit of watching it falling down first, throwing it up, catching the hand again, throwing it up, catching the hand again, and then throwing it up and letting it fall. I remember saying that. please have that elbow bent off this side, that elbow bent, or you won't. If they're straight, you'll have the scoopy doopy, you know, it'll be no good at all. You'll never have a swing, you know. And just for that, Michael, and you with me, but that's a pity that I didn't. There was a, who was it? Irish Life produced a book, Play a Hurling. Maybe you came across it, did you, lads? No? No. Just to give it to you, to get it. Have you, Michael? Yeah. But again, that was nicely illustrated, you know, and it went through all the skills. It really. Oh God, I can say that small boy is like me again. I'd never seen him before, but he was a country boy. He came in and stayed with his cousin, and he was on a hit gap here, and he couldn't swing again. Isn't that amazing? You must have the two hands close together. How high up is it all there? If again lifting the ball, you must go down. If you hit one point, you must bend down. Bend down. And that's when you're answering the question. Make short time low. Don't worry about it. So this isn't a test of pen. Oh, it's your whole future career is a pen. It's only a little test to kind of test your, not so much your memory, but your thinking on the game, as you might say, you know. You must change the grip. That's the change of grip now. But you have that bar for block down, which we do outside again. We didn't do the block down once, and we do it again. And a few points in the block down. We do it outside. The big point was the block down. I think Pat said it last week. Wherever the hurley is, keep your head behind it. Now that's vital. There was a poor chap who was killed in Dublin hurler, killed tail end of the year before.
85.
She just sad. And really, it was the very thing. I've been doing the course in Dublin on 2 weekends. Oh, it doesn't get it against the norm. Friday evening. Never went to Dublin Friday evening. Didn't. Don't bother. Don't try. She was dead. And all day Saturday and drunk. But anyway, I remember when this is what he did now. Clap. That we forget now. I thought we'd never forget. But he did something like this. Something like this. And actually turned his head, look, and look, where was his head? Once it had no place, and the latter, you know, I knew him very well. I know many of you know, Pat Critchley from League. Very nice fellow. But a devil, at one stage he was teaching him here in Cappaquin, which is not far from me. He was going to come over, we do something with his right hand, because he's a hopeless right. No one ever bother, all from the left. You might notice if you see him playing. But Pat Critchley, you see, dummied him to the right, and that was it. And then that's what he did, you know, and he was hit here. It wasn't much of a blow, but it just so happened that his skull was not
But they studied the helmet, wasn't it? But Joe studied the side of the helmet.
It probably was, but you know, just the saddest thing was that it was a freak thing, but the one thing that wasn't a freak is that nobody, just nobody had insisted in training, and that's the point again, on having him do that. Had mind made, look, if that's there, you're fine. I mean, that should be the kind of for the block down, you know. Now, you needn't always do it in the ideal way, because you might. But I'd be scared of this thing with little kids, because look what happens with a lad with like, boom, boom, you know. And it isn't funny, you know, it's far from funny. But it's terribly important that they would, and the other thing too, which Pat said he did, a few points, you'd be in stride, that you'd be in striding, what they say, that you would take a stride into it, to be holding an arm length from the trap. That's important. If it's any nearer, sure, it will go right into him, and when he puts up the ball, he will tip it away or something, you know. But the nearer you are, the better. In this case, you block down, never, and this is, I know this, would you mind me out, please, I'll just show you this. This is all right, I'll send up now. Starting on my That's my boy, that's my boy. Right. But you know, for instance, if you were striking that direction, I would never try to block it on you. This is a danger area. I know one boy I had a few years ago, I tell him, keep out of that position, that's danger over there. And of course, I think I said last week, keep the hurley up on it, keep it up when you're swinging. Because you can bring it down again. It's very important to have it ready. Now that's what I am now is absolutely dangerous. I wouldn't dream of blocking it from there. What I do there is I put the hurley here or something. And you know what, you could block it. But that's the danger area. I never go in there. The block down is when I'm in front, actually in front. And the most critical thing is that I would watch your swing and block the boss of your hurley. Now, it's a pity not to go out with the ball, but I want nobody to be hit with a stick because you won't. And the next thing is the change of grip. Again, look, it's a bit like that, but this time that fellow would want to be back here, say, you know, or a third of the way up. Ideally, now, again, you could get fellas to do that in a little grip, for the block down. Now, that's the idea, isn't it? Now, and the next thing is, watch that. And as you up goes the ball, watch that. Watch that. And one of the pretty things, and God knows I'm not great at myself, because again, we were never taught when we were young, and my God, if you don't get it when you're young, you won't get it. Is I tend to blink my eyes. You should watch the ball, watch your stick. God, some people are great at that down because they've got it right at the beginning and they've no fear. And you want to do 4 of those. You do 5 for me. Throw the ball and don't have them swinging too hard. Why? She might break your heart. You're my pal. It's a silly girl. You know, it's very important that you wouldn't. Very important that you wouldn't, because so I don't want to show how strong they are, you know. Now, with you're going to be nervous that, and what you must do every time, every chance you get, maybe every training session, I think anyway, is, especially if they're nervous, that you do it with him. He trusts you. He knows you're not going to harm him. But as one of his pals, he got a scalp there. You see, all that in the street is in the back of that. You know, and that might be highly dangerous, you know. But if you do that, watch the swing. Now, I make my eye, but I made something like, oh, the other thing that Pat said last week is true. If you could keep contact means keep it there. You need never. Now, the first thing I have to say to you, don't ever let him drop down to the ground. Don't ever. Now, it's different on your senior hurdle or whatever, you know, you got to do it quickly. But there's no need, because look, he'll be hitting at that level. At the lowest of recovery, that level. So once you go down here, you'll hold it there. Would you agree with that? Because you wouldn't say so, because we could toss it around and see. I think that's pretty good advice, because the thing I'd be afraid of is this thing, oh God, you know, because you don't want to be hiding again. And there's no need for it.
You were supposed to have no way to open again.
You are, you see, and I mean, always keep the head behind the hurl. Put it the other way around, keep the hurl in front of your head, so if you like. And it doesn't matter how low. God, I saw Pat Henderson doing a marvelous drop down one evening in water or playing Kenny, one of these other scrap things, practice matches that's time for half step and start with the lead, but But I remember he wasn't even playing with Kenny, he was with them and he fell in. But again, he went down so well, he had his, and then you see, when he got down, he was in immediately, then you see. That's why if you could get him to do that right. Now, I think I was saying last week, the good thing if they got their own probably for that. You know, because really, you see, it could be that you break a good hurley, and fella, oh God, that'd be too bad, you know. It's all right in mortal combat out there, but in sheer practice, it would be an awful waste of good material, if you like that, you know. Was there any other point about that? No, I think it's a bit hard, but John Cochran believes them would do it with one hand. So would Martin Quigley, he's not going to be on course with me. But they do it with one hand. Watch Jack Cochran, he's up here ready from left or right, no. But he could do it with one hand because he's strong wrists, you know, he's a little fella really, if any of you know him. Jack Cochran Lockley, you know. Oh, he's a marvelous kid, man, you know. And, but he's very strong. I'd be a little scared of kids telling him that. Because the big thing about it is that when I was said and done, if you have a good firm grip, and that's the thing, and practice it a lot. Now you want to do it regularly, though, I think. Otherwise people will be afraid and bothered and nervous. And this thing, recoiling thing is a mistake.
When you're blocking down,
yeah.
if you don't hold it on, when you get a sting up your hand, shot with it.
Good. That's right. But there's not much you can do with it. I say that one thing I say. Sorry, yeah. I think, you know, this black tape around here, it's a very good thing, because that is thanks very much. Thanks very much for being around everyone. Okay? But this black tape actually is supposed to absorb a good deal of the sting. I wish it would, and I think it could. And I know that a new hurl you often knows there's a lot of sting in it for a while. I don't know what that is about. I've never thought about it. I didn't time to think about it. But I know that there's a bit of material on the handle which should help too. But the big thing is to have, I think the big thing is to make sure you go down properly. And don't let anybody come in awkwardly. I mean, apart from anything else, if I come inside and see, I'd probably hit you on the hands. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you come in and it's dangerous. And you could get the tail end of the swing. And there's nothing to be gained from it except you would be hurt. And referees, of course, should make a particular point of that. Speaking of rules, can I ask you a question? How many steps can you take on hurling, would you say that?
Four.
How about the girls, would you say that? You can give a damn. So the referee's a nice guy, you know what I mean? Yeah. I think it's 4 now, isn't it? Hurling and football. It used to be 4 football and 3 in hurling, but there were flags around there and around the sideline, and a ball hit the sideline flag and still stayed in, and the fellow said, clear away, it's all right. Would you agree that you should play? Actually, you're very good. So that's no bother. What about the 70 now? There you are now, you're taking a 70. Look, they're all way down. This is for Douglas, 70. Unfortunately, you're in a moment of mental aberration. You lifted it and you half-skinned it, and then you went out and you hit it again. That'd be a foul, wouldn't it? Yeah. Oh, gee, what's going to happen now? Throw in the ball, would you say? Throw in the ball. You would? Yeah. Oh, God, I'm afraid Andrew can't let you go. Throw it out of side. There's one line of defender. Fuck out. If you foul at 70, it's a fuck out. And if you foul at fuck out, it's a 70. Now, the only difference is, that means that if you foul in the square, there's a little difference there, though. If you step outside the square, it should be funny. I wouldn't ask you that, it's in the question. But I think that's fairly, actually it happened yesterday evening in our little match, and I gave me a chance to tell him, much to the surprise of the little boy. But now he'll know, I won't go into it again. Because, and of course, the critical thing when you're taking a free, if you're asked about, mention 3 or 4 things taking a free, 3 things, only 2 things that's right. First thing is to line up. Remember Patrick talking about line up. Now, it doesn't matter which way you take it, Mary, whether you get underneath or not. It doesn't matter now. The important thing is to go and line up because you can still move your feet, you know. See, and it's a very good idea. If you watch then how you're bringing a couple of kids and go 2 or 3 with them. That if they stand this way, it's much more difficult to, you see, we're kind of twisting yourself around a little bit. It's much easier to strike this way. But a very important thing taking a free would be line up your feet and your shoulders in line with the palm. And you see all these lads who used to take them, and the present takers of free do it too. And then lifting it, and John Benton doesn't always scoop it. You know, the askers all right, when I saw him scooping the first free over, said, what's he up to at all? That's not nice, I don't know when he got a goal from. And he had taken one just before the same way. I was saying, God, what's he at now? Because there wasn't too much grass in the front of that. And of course, when he eventually took one then, inviting him where he hit, but the big complication was that the goalie was coming out a little bit and crossing everybody, and it's an awful thing. The goalie should always stay on his line if he can. Now he can, it's only 3, if you're in the middle, it wouldn't be too bad maybe, because the goalie isn't going to go for the ball. But it's a critical thing that you could be bouncing up and down the feet, and I think you should myself, you know, so that you'd be ready to move the hurry up, because that's your rectangle here. Next to this rectangle, and you shouldn't go beyond that. You should watch for this part here, so you can hurry over. By the way, has anybody got a goalie or no goalie who might be frightened of the ball a little bit? Don't tell me. But if you have, please remind them that, look, if you hold the hurley halfway, and you should, waiting for the shot. If you have it down here, it takes an age to bring it up. If you have it halfway, you're only halfway down to go and halfway up. But you'll get that hurley up quicker than any ball. Better than that. But you will if you're practicing. There's no doubt about that. And watch the ball so intently that you'll be watching the seam or the little rim. That'll be big or small. So that you'll be concentrating. That's about it. But that's the truth of it. You needn't go running around. You needn't go running away from it. Because often, I know about it to duck the head. Oh dear God. Because again, they weren't aware of the fact, I think, that they weren't told that look, you only have halfway to go, and that's what extra head and reach. That's the quickest thing of all, you know? And there's no problem with it. But taking a free again like the lining up, if you don't lift it, there's no strike. If there's no lift, there's no strike. Lift well, and strike through the ball and follow through. I say they would be the 3 things I say. I don't mind how you lift it. When you follow well through, and as I said, Charlie McCarthy, your neighbour, used to always strike right through and lose the ball. You know, I think that's very important. I know we lost one hour and I swear to God, 1957, because Billy Grimes, who was a great striker, was trying to lob it over the bar nicely without overhitting it, in case he hit it too hard. And it went in on the bar, and he went up and he caught it and cleared out about 2 miles. But it's a shocking pity, because he was a good free taker. No one had told him. He probably didn't think you should himself. But if you do follow it well, follow right through, you know, And again, it should be, if you try this now yourself when you're getting praised, you know, not today, but all the time. The thing I was saying about lifting, once you get the lift, you know, if you bend the knees a bit and come up with it, you're more, and come back inside, you know, inside and swing out and out. If you come back inside, the idea is that you'll be square with the more. And if you go back up this way sometimes, back up, you come back, and it's hard to get the whole square to the more again. You know? Now I would, honestly, and the third thing about striking the free, for your own benefit is more than here, as the kids do, is tighten that grip when you're just hitting, when you're just striking. It's the same in tennis. Anybody play tennis? No? Isn't it? It's the same in tennis too. Very same in tennis. Hello, you're welcome. Come in.
Well, that's strictly economically.
No, see them, I don't know.
24th, Saturday,
Saturday, 24th.
Oh, is that right? Okay, well,
Yes, Dave.
Right. But it actually even a pop out to it. But I really talking about pop out to make it terribly relaxed, as if you didn't care how. But tighten that grip and follow it through well and be out on the foot that's forward. So I was tempted to give you that in the thing here, but you know, the forward foot is the foot that's nearest the direction of the ball. That's important. Now that's for stationary. I mean, risky work, you could be in any foot. I mean, when you're jumping on a ball properly, you know, you won't be on any forward foot, and the same with this side. Because you can't say, ball, come on. That's the other fellow be mean enough to take it off you. You must go for the ball. Sorry, Dad, I'll give him another shot. Please. That's no way, but don't wake me up. The block down, the hooping, just only go through it. That's really neat, you know. And with the hooping again, it's from behind that you hoop. Of course you can hoop from the side, but as a player who drop a ball when he sees you were there and hit it, is very foolish there. You can't depend on meeting those always, you know. So the hooping is when you're not aware. If you hoop once, so happy again, hoop him again. He did. And the third time the fool in, and eventually the fellow was so bothered, I think he gave it a tip with his foot. And what you say to your own player, if he's hooped once, shift the ball and you give it a tip someplace and go after it again. And he could actually lift it because the other guy is waiting to hook him again, you know. In the notes, I think they say that you hook him and then you stride in here, getting your head taken off. I know ideally a senior player, okay, but I'd be nervous at that time, very nervous. I'd rather hook him and hook him again. Hooking is a one-handed grip again. Look at how often you have to use it, you know. If you were very, very good and a good racer, you would turn this way, so the hurley would be down a bit here, not here, you know. But that takes a bit of practice. But the important thing is out straight at behind his back when he won the rush.